The Denver Nuggets beat the Los Angeles Clippers 112-110 in overtime. What's probably going to be the best game we get of all the game ones, because really tough to beat an overtime game where the home team wins by 2 to take a 1-0 series lead. That's what happened. Nuggets winning that game in typical playoff Nuggets fashion. Just Jamal Murray being like, you know what? I'm just going to be the man now. 21 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, hit a couple big threes, while the Nuggets were trying to mount that comeback. And he was really good, right? Like this is who he is. He just kind of cruises through the regular season, and then the Nuggets need him, and he, just goes to a whole nother level. And he did it tonight, or I guess this afternoon. Got to his spots, hit really tough shots, got to the rim. You could tell he didn't really want to go at Kawhi Leonard, so he did whatever he could to make sure he had like James Harden or literally anyone else, I guess not Chris Dunn, on him. And then whenever that happened, he took full advantage of it. And I was really impressed to see him get 21 because I thought that the Clippers actually did a pretty solid job of defending that Jokic, Jamal Murray two-man game. And so that's probably why we only saw him go for 21. He wasn't super efficient, but was definitely, obviously, he was more than good enough to win. As I said, he had a couple big shots down the stretch. Aaron Gordon, also amazing, 25 points, 8 rebounds, only made 1 3, but it was a big one late in the game when things were kind of going back and forth. He grabbed 8 rebounds as well, played excellent defense, and a guy who's just really come a long way in terms of his ability to shoot the basketball. 8 of 10 from the free throw line, and the Nuggets needed every single point of that because any bucket that they can get, whether it's a free throw or a self-created shot, without Jokic having to do much, is really, really nice for them and also for Jokic, because that's always going to be the thing whenever you watch the Nuggets play. How do the other guys perform? And obviously Jokic was great. 29 points, 9 rebounds, 12 assists, 3 steals. And this was with Zubac defending him. I don't know if you heard this or not. You probably did because they said it a million times during the broadcast that Zubac statistically has done a better job defensively on him than anyone else. Didn't matter. Jokic was still plus 13. He controlled every offensive possession, got the Nuggets into whatever they wanted to get into for the most part. As I said, I thought the Clippers did do a pretty solid job of defending that Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic two-man game. So really impressive performance from those 3 guys. And we're going to get to Russell Westbrook here in a second, but I want to talk about the biggest thing that I'm very intrigued to see whether or not the Clippers change. They almost always had a guy on the floor that is a 0 on the offensive end. Chris Dunn or Ben Simmons were always on the floor, and the Nuggets were more than willing to leave Chris Dunn open to see if he could make a couple threes. Like, they didn't care about what he did at all. I don't think I have to explain the Ben Simmons thing. 1 shot in 13 minutes, I think, says it all. And you know who Ben Simmons is. He's scared to shoot for whatever reason. And so the Nuggets aren't a very good defensive team. I think this is very well known. They just kind of out offense you because they have Jokic and guys who tend to make big shots. And early on in that game, it's like, man, like, how are the Nuggets gonna stop anybody? And then like, oh wait, let's just not guard Chris Dunn or Ben Simmons when they're on the floor. And look, the Nuggets, I still didn't think were perfect on the defensive end of the floor, but much easier to guard 4 guys with 5 as opposed to trying to guard 5 guys with 5. And I thought that really tilted the game, their willingness to let Ben Simmons or Chris Dunn beat them. The Clippers tried to enable that exact same strategy against Russell Westbrook late in the game. Obviously, he hits the big 3 to put him up by 2. He made some mistakes. He wasn't perfect, but he grabbed so many rebounds that allowed them to win that game, more specifically offensive rebounds. He was really good. I'll be honest, I was not a fan of Westbrook closing the game because it was really obvious what the Clippers were going to do. They were just going to leave him alone and see if he could make the shot. And we've seen Russell Westbrook play long enough now to know that he's going to take that shot every chance that he gets because he thinks he's going to make it. And, given his track record, given the success he's had in the league, like he should feel that way. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he should take those shots. I thought he made a couple bad decisions, but he made more good plays than he did bad. Would still prefer to see Michael Porter Jr. out there just because it's like you're not going to double off him. Like you can't double off him, but obviously he doesn't rebound quite as well as Westbrook, even though I don't think he's a bad rebounder, and he definitely doesn't defend as well as Russell Westbrook. And Speaking of defense, Kawhi Leonard and James Harden both had good games. I didn't think Kawhi Leonard had the ball enough, though. I get it. Like, James Harden was awesome, 11 or 22, hitting game tying shots, getting in the lane, hitting floaters. His screen and roll with Zubac was really impressive. But Kawhi Leonard's your best player. And I thought that the Clippers had too many stretches where I didn't even realize that Kawhi was on the floor. Like they would go like 4 or 5 possessions without Kawhi Leonard even touching the ball. And I get it. Like, James Harden, excellent player, had a really good night, 11 or 22, led them in scoring, all that good stuff. But you have to make sure that your best player touches the ball every possession, especially in close games. And Aaron Gordon, really good defender. He can't guard Kawhi Leonard. And certainly you can get, Brown or Westbrook or whoever you want switched onto Kawhi. And I'm kind of surprised that the Clippers allowed him to go these long stretches without touching the ball. But I think that's an easy fix. This series is going to be amazing. The game was really physical. I think that favors the Nuggets just because they're not as good defensively as the Clippers are. So the games continue to be physical, then I think the Nuggets are going to have a really, really good chance to win this series. But I feel really good about my prediction of Nuggets in 7 because that guy Jokic, man, like he's going to give them a good shot every time. That ended up being the difference. I thought that the Nuggets got better shots late than the Clippers, and they won by 2 because of it. So that series is going to be awesome. Can't wait for game 2 whenever that is. Thank you for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. I've got a game 1 reaction up of Pistons and Bucks. Feel free to go check that out. I'll have one out as well for the Knicks and the Pistons who are playing right now. And, of course, the Lakers, Wolves, and the rest of the game 1s, and really every playoff game that we have. So make sure you're subscribed for all the goodness that I'm going to push out over these next couple of months. Thank you again for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.